started just in time.
Yeah. Hopefully it doesn't get.
Yeah, now I've got the arrhythmic stuck in my head.
Here
Hello,
comes
everyone.
the rain.
Welcome to Pints and Pistons.
Copyright.
What? Pints and... Oh, hey.
Right.
Hi, everyone.
Hello.
Hey.
That's what we're here for.
We're here
Yes.
for
It's not just the beer. There's this whole thing too.
Pints and Pistons at the hometown Pints and Pistons bar
Yes.
And grill.
with good friends.
The grill's inside.
Mike from Old School's Garage.
How's
in
everybody doing?
The house.
Indeed.
Thank you.
Indeed.
And tonight will be another fun-filled episode of New
We're gonna
Year's
do
car
some laundry
things
stuff
and
for a
stuff.
second.
And there were mini bike things happening, and so we're 34 days since last incident.
I only did a couple laps around.
And it was very moist out there, and he was a little slidey, slippery.
Little slippy going on.
Duty, yeah. So
didn't get
I'm
too
proud of
deep
him.
in it.
I am proud of him. And you know, he even invited me to ride it, and I said no because I'm wearing open-toed shoes.
You're
So
always wearing open-toe shoes.
Oh, look
I
at the
think
big
that's-
brain on
I think
Dan.
that's his excuse to never get on it. He just always wears.
I was thinking the same thing. He's
Yeah,
just
like,
always
oh,
making sure he wears
man,
flip-flops
no.
so he doesn't have to
Hey,
ride it. And I saw him cut his eyes right there.
Because
That's what
if I
he's been doing.
do, I am gonna wreck it. Like Karen.
Or
like,
you are
I'm
gonna buy
su-
one.
I'm gonna. Yeah, or I'm gonna buy one. I'm
We
gonna
need a mini bike gang.
super
I mean, come on.
Superman wheelie it across the driveway like Chris.
Hey, it's been over 7 seconds, pussy.
I mean, come on. You need one. You got to let your whole neighborhood is grass.
I know.
The entire neighborhood
You have
is
the
grass.
perfect place to
Hey,
ride
listen.
one.
Out of everybody here, the only person who has the most suitable neighborhood to ride
Is
one in
me.
besides you is me.
That's true. Let me sell the BMW first, all right?
Okay.
All right, let me sell that first, and then we'll talk
I'm
about
gonna
it.
try to get glasses not shattered on this stuff.
Good idea.
No fun.
Apparently, he stuck a glass. Somehow, one of the glass ended up in the freezer when it was wet. But then you have Dan, who has our carry-on guys.
Yeah, just in the freezer by itself, like how.
Well,
I
that was
normally
because
do.
that was one of those really thin wall goblets.
Yeah,
I still have mine. You still have yours?
I think so.
Mike still has
That's-
his.
and that's I know how to properly store certain glasses because I do like having some frozen.
Are you talking
But-
about the Schlitz's goblet?
Yeah.
Yeah, I still have it. It's in my game
Yeah,
room.
I had mine in my. I would put mine in the freezer because that's where I put like all my glasses, and it just one day I went to open my freezer and it was just in a pile.
Take one down, Pat.
99 bottles up here on the wall.
That one's gonna be yours.
That one's yours, because that one's mine.
That one's Brian's.
That one's Brian's.
Tradition.
Right on.
Yep. Now, last time there was one, and it was my favorite Coors Light one too, because the mountains on it were actually like raised.
Right.
Like not that it was actual glass; it was like the
It was
color-changing
like
stuff.
the raised printed one.
Oh, okay,
Yeah,
cool.
and they changed colors and it was beautiful. That was a masterfully snuck out of the restaurant one that I purchased.
I have a
You know
I have a
what's-
Co- I have a Coors Light that's the slightly taller one that
Yeah.
actually has the mountains molded into the
Yeah.
side of it.
You know what's
but-
awesome though? Those thick Budweiser ones that
Uh-huh.
you got. Have you froze one of those?
No, not yet.
Because they work damn near like fucking Yetis.
Yeah.
They retain
No.
the freezing for a
That's
long
why
because
they're
they're
so thick.
No, one-
yeah.
one of them must have been just slightly still wet while it was when it got put in there, so it got stuck. And when I went to
Grab it.
grab
See,
it to
that
turn
makes
it,
sense. That makes sense.
It didn't shatter. It just
Snapped.
it snapped the whole time.
The one that Sabrina got me from the Ford Museum, that one there, like I said, I'll put that one in the freezer, like the day before or that morning if I feel like I'm going to have some beer with dinner or whatever. I'll put that one in the freezer. That one lasts. That
Yeah,
one
'cause
holds cold for a
it's
while.
like even like with like I don't put any of my print cups in the dishwasher. I hand wash all those. Any of my clear cups, I'll put them in the dishwasher. But like
Yeah,
all my print
of my-
ones, I hand wash.
all of my pint glasses I just
But
hand wash.
that Budweiser one, that one's a fucking tank. And it
Which one should we try?
Start off with the green ones?
Start with green one.
Yeah. Do you need to split?
Yes.
Okay, I'll split with you.
Okay.
look at that, all working out. All working out.
So,
Uneasy.
Mike here was recently. Where did you go?
So, I went to Pennsylvania to go see my niece graduate, which was really awesome. And then also went over to a buddy's house in Maryland, picked up a set of headers for my car.
So he went to Maryland, and then the niece's graduation was the side mission.
No.
You went to pick up some headers for your car. It just happened to coincide.
Having to coincide, yeah, that's it.
So you're like, I'll go to the graduation. too.
Yeah, I'm going to split with
Okay. So,
Chris. And so the place up there is called Lancaster Brewery. Last time I was up there, I got a couple of them.
That name sounds familiar.
So I'm guessing
And,
it's in Lancaster, PA?
You could say that.
It's run by the Amish, and then y'all can.
I love
So,
the sun on the
put
can.
German style
Gonna put
Kolsch.
this back in the fridge for you.
Crisp,
Beautiful.
German style Kolsch ale. Crisp, clean, and
And-
refreshing.
Lancaster, that's referencing to
Pennsylvania.
Pennsylvania, right? Lancaster, Pennsylvania,
Yes, sir.
right?
Mm-hmm.
You want to read it in, Mike, Dan?
Somebody's using
Hold-
that. Am I reading
yeah,
left?
hold on.
Thank you,
Hey, calm down. All right, hold on. If I squint, I can do it. Our tribute to the traditional beer of Cologne Lancaster, German single Kolsch, offers clean malt flavors from extended cold lagering and a firm, noble hop character. The perfect session brew for any occasion. Lancaster Kolsch is a crisp and refreshing brew that pairs well with virtually any type of food. All right. Oh, look at that.
It's got a nice
Look
color.
at the color.
I mean, that.
That's that outside working all day piss right there.
That's that. I need to drink more water.
There's water in this. It'll be fine.
Gentlemen,
Where?
Slancha, cheers.
Cheers.
Kanpai.
Kanpai.
Chin chin.
Prost.
Frost.
Oh, that's
Oh,
just,
man.
That's just nice.
What's happening
That
there?
has a good cream to it.
What's
too.
happening there?
Smooth.
That is perfect for summer.
There's a good creaminess in it. It's super smooth.
What's the crisp? What's the crisp?
I don't know. I'm trying.
Oh, I can't read the side of it, so. Somebody with good eyes.
Shit. Okay.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
We all
I
got
don't have my glasses on right
yeah,
now.
my old man glasses are at home.
I don't think it says anything about flavor.
Yeah, it doesn't say
No.
anything about any
What
flavor.
is that though?
Okay.
There's like whatever the crisp is. That's something. That's
Yeah, it's
like,
really nice.
That is fantastic.
Oh my god.
That is good.
That's
Yes,
amazing.
yes, that
Thank
is-
you.
No problem.
Wow. No, oh, what is that?
I don't know.
It's not coriander.
I want to say it's apple, but I don't
Yes,
think.
It could be-
it's
it
an
could be.
apple.
You think it's apple?
Kind of an
Apple is
taste.
quite is a big thing up there. Up
That
north.
makes sense. Like
Oh, yeah,
I'm talking
'cause
like
there's all
fre-
those
like
apple
like a
orchards and
fresh
all that.
apple off the orchard, like fresh.
Yeah,
It's like an apple snap.
but yeah, so we went up there and
like a Granny Smith. Well, it's like the tart Granny, like
Okay.
tart apples.
There we go.
That
Yep,
that's
it is
that
apple.
that instant push. Sorry. It just
No,
I
no,
took,
no,
I
no,
took
you're
a
fine.
big sip and I was like, oh, that's what that is.
When it hits you, it hits you.
I'm not getting apple. It just tastes like a really nice Kolsch beer.
Well, yeah,
That's just
no,
all
it
I-
is,
that's
but
just
it's
all I
that,
get.
there's a snap, like you said, like a snap. As soon as you get into it, it hits, and it's like right when you take a bite of like a Granny Smith apple, that instant like rush of
Right.
like the juice, and
Yeah.
it hits your tongue that certain way.
So you nabbed
Very
some headers for
refreshing.
the Falcon.
Sorry.
got some headers for
No,
the
you're
Falcon. Also to the guy that I got him from, he's building a '64 Falcon. He's building a AFX car.
Oh,
So
nice.
The rear wheels are slammed forward like 16 inches. The front
Oh,
wheels are moved
wow.
forward. Well, he got the headers off one of the guys from Southeast Gassers,
Okay.
and what they're doing is they're taking the Tri-5 Chevy big block fender well headers, and they cut the flange off, and then weld the flange for the Ford FEs.
That's a good idea.
Because nobody makes fender well headers for
Fords.
FE engines. So he got him. He picked them up and went to go put them in his car. But his bars that go from the firewall to the frame rails go straight down.
So,
Where on my car they come out
Out and
and then bend down.
so you have the room for them.
Right. His every single pipe would hit that down bar, and he's like, I'm not changing it.
That's nice.
He's like, if you can use them, there you go. So I grabbed
That's
them, and I
good.
also got he made these for putting in a roll cage. These little plastic holders, essentially, is what it is. So you put up, if you're by yourself trying to put a roll cage in, this will actually clip onto the roll bar, and it'll stay, so it'll hold your roll bar up. So you need to hold it at a certain angle.
Oh yeah, that's pretty
Amazing.
sweet.
Amazing.
That is
Wow.
so awesome.
And he used to work on I think it was something with airplanes and stuff like that. He has got like 10,000 Clico clips And the best thing in the world. For anybody that does body work, for holding body panels, these things are just amazing.
They are. I know exactly what you're talking about.
And yeah, he's
I
got
have
a
at the
ton of them.
hangar in Inverness. There is an old yellow erector set case that was mine from when I was a kid, and that's what's in it now is Clecos and Cleco pliers.
Oh, jeez. But yeah, I mean, real good guy. So I got those, and so we left there. And the best part was when coming home, we did not go on one main road. We were able to get from Maryland to Lancaster, my sister's house in Lancaster, PA, by using back roads.
Oh, that's great.
Now, when I say
That'd
back
be a
roads, I don't
beautiful
mean
drive.
like side streets like this.
Yeah.
I mean like, say for like Stagecoach.
Yeah.
Or Lecanto Highway. You know, something like that, where it's one lane each way
Yep.
and barely any traffic.
Not for nothing, true America.
Right.
Yep.
True America right there.
Yep.
Beautiful
it
experiences.
was great. It was
That's
absolutely
awesome.
great.
That's the way I like
That's
to go.
awesome.
So. But me and a buddy of mine, we drove up and stopped at a Buc-ee's for the first time.
They're great.
It's kind of overwhelming, isn't it?
Very overwhelming.
I was gonna say we talked about that last episode with Brett. And
Yeah.
it's when we went like we all like we were overwhelmed. It was the
Yeah.
wall of beef jerky was amazing. The
And the place-
sandwich,
Huge.
the meat was great.
Right.
I couldn't decide on what sandwich to get, so I got one with all three of the meats on it. Which was
Yeah,
great.
that's what I ended up getting, like 3 meat sandwiches. Was like, hell yeah.
And then we're at the soda fountain trying to figure out what soda to get, and all
And
of
keep in
us
mind-
at individual times got the cherry limeade.
Oh, okay.
And, because it was so
Like,
freaking
so,
good.
like we walked in and like you're confronted with the size of everything and
Right.
how much is there. And then you notice the wall of beef jerky. So obviously that was the first stop. So then after each of us grabbed a couple 2 or 3 bags of different beef, critter jerkies,
Right.
we started off towards the center of the store together, but then we were all on like squirrel, and off in separate directions we went. And then at some point, I think me and Mike ended up bouncing into each other at the barbecue sandwich line.
Yeah. I got armfuls.
And then
What'd you get?
and then we separated off again, and then we all headed towards the register. Like one by one, we all step up to the register. He's got a sandwich and goodies. I've got a sandwich and goodies, and Mike's got a sandwich and goodies. We're like, hey, what soda did you get? I got the cherry lime. What did you get? I got the cherry lime. What'd you get? Well, I got the cherry lime. Yeah, like it was all of us. Is the chat up and running?
Yep.
Yeah, cool.
You know,
So yeah, but like I said, we all ended up getting
Yeah,
the
no,
same
he's here,
thing,
so
even
there-
though
Yeah,
we-
he's here. This was just to watch the chat.
funny side note about Buc-ee's. You know how much I spent at Buc-ee's the other day?
Well, I know I spent about
Oh, would you go over in
50,
Orlando?
60 bucks.
I spent $575 at Buc-ee's
holy
How
hell!
did you spend that
in
much?
Texas.
on
In
Buc-ee's?
Texas.
What'd you
Yes.
do? Buy a
In-
Buc-ee's?
in Texas.
Oh no!
Okay.
In Texas on Tuesday.
You were at work on
Oh,
Tuesday.
wait, hold on. Sorry. Woo. Oh, my head. Yeah, sorry about that. Did you get
Your
me
card
that?
got stolen again. Ugh.
It
Where
was-
where are you using your card?
The last time I used this card was at Lowe's 3 months ago when I bought my home water softening system. I haven't used it since then.
See, that's pretty. I use my debit card at some sketchy fucking place.
No, and that's I literally got I literally got this credit card just to buy all my water softening and my home house water filtration stuff. That was it. It was like 3 months ago, and I called the place, and it was funny because the lady's like, "It's Buccees," and I'm like, "Oh, Buc-ee's," and she goes, "Oh, so you made this?" I'm like, "No, no, 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 no."
I just know where it is.
Like I just know what it is. She goes, "Yeah, it's Buc-ee's in Texas for $5.75," and I said, "No."
I live in Florida and I haven't been to Texas.
Someone was very happy to get that RV filled with gas.
Yeah.
Oh,
so
shit.
they didn't notice it until Tuesday.
Uh-huh.
My card has a 5,000 limit. I only put about 700 on it, and it's
Yeah.
maxed.
Oh,
Oh shit!
Yeah. So now they have to do all this different stuff. And they're like, "You didn't do all these in Texas?" And I'm like, "No!" I'm like, "No.
I
I've
live in
never
Florida.
been to Texas.
I will show you my time card.
Like, I'm
How does that
here.
work?
I have not been to Texas.
But in the car spotting side of it, as we were going up, there's just me and a buddy of mine, and we did see a couple of the brand new Grand Wagoneers.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Those
Those
are
are nice,
nice.
yeah.
With the hurricane mode.
Yeah.
And then we kind of forgot where we were. But next thing I heard a blower whine, and it was,
Eyes.
of course, your head snaps over, and it was an Escalade V.
Oh, I love those, man.
I was like,
I love
Hell
those.
yeah.
but yeah, so it was a good time.
I
Good
love
time.
those so much. Yeah, no, that's
Yeah, those Grand Wagoneers look really nice.
Yeah, they do look
They
really
really
nice.
do.
They look really nice.
Yeah.
With a $100,000 price
I was
tag.
gonna say I got
They
two-
look really nice. They're not.
Hey, do you think depreciation will hit as hard as it did with my car?
Uh,
Mine was $100,000 new.
I don't know. I really like the motors. The
So-
Hurricane
The
motors.
Hurricanes are fantastic.
Those are depreciating faster than Alfa Romeos do.
Which is saying something.
Damn. We'll be able to afford them.
Hey,
Well,
Like they're
am.
losing 60% of their value in a year.
Have they hit EV levels of depreciation yet?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Well, the problem is they are falling apart fast.
he said the magic word. So, we got one.
What are we on? Pee Wee's Playhouse?
Hi, zombie! We got one at our place of establishment that Chris and I both work at.
Which one?
That an EV9. That the engineers say that they cannot even bother to come down and look at and fix because, due to the symptoms, it's not repairable.
Is that the one that you were talking about?
It's not his.
No.
Being
No,
landlocked?
no, his is another one.
Oh,
There's
shit.
multiple.
Oh shit!
That one they
problem.
want the
Oh,
engineer
yeah,
to come
really?
look
Yeah,
at.
because
What's an EV9?
It's like a Telluride but an EV.
they actually look pretty good.
Do they?
I would love to get behind the wheel of the Ioniq 5N.
I was gonna
They-
say
they-
I gotta give said company a real prop because they made them look really
Well,
nice.
they approved a new battery because they said we need to do that, and they first said that we need to purchase a reman battery,
Get the hook right.
which we did all of the research in, and there is none available. So we went a step further and reached out to the supplier to make sure none was available, and then they said, "All right, you're green light for a new battery."
Damn.
How much do you think a new battery is?
$35,000.
You're way low, my brother.
Oh,
So the car new is how much? About 70, right?
70 to 80, somewhere in there.
so what about 65 of that is battery?
You're like 68. You're right.
Damn.
Yeah.
Damn.
And they said to do
The rest of the car only costs.
it. And they
less than
said
10 grand?
Under warranty, they are
Shoot,
willing
okay.
to do it. And they're available. They have 80
Well,
of
God, I
them in
hope
the
so.
Florida warehouse.
So you're saying if you got into an accident, like a fender bender or just a mild accident with that car, where you got to replace all this shit, it's going to cost me less than 10 grand to replace everything on the outside and inside, all electrical and that on this car.
Well, no, here's
No.
the
But
problem.
but
No,
but
it's
you
not.
understand what I'm saying? Like I
This
can
is
do that
actually a problem
entire
that's
stuff for
coming
less
up
than
with
10 grand.
EV cars is these cars are getting into minor accidents
I'm being told.
and it's damaging the battery pack, which totals the car.
Yeah. And,
Javier, non-fixable EV9. What? Yeah, apparently there's 2 of them now that have been unfixable.
Oh, hey, what's up, buddy?
well,
yeah,
and the thing is, who is it?
that's Frankie.
Oh, I don't have my glasses on.
Javi.
Javi, my buddy. I haven't talked to him in so long. I miss him.
Text me later. We'll talk about it, bud.
Yeah. So, well, that's the thing though. It's like so. It,
So same symptoms as the last one that was unfixable.
Well, no, the other one was a headlight problem.
yeah.
Well, started
But
that way.
yeah.
now it's not a headlight problem.
Yeah, and it was one of the cells.
Uh-huh.
Well, and
And that's
here's the
what it
thing. It's like you can purchase the cells individually,
Okay.
but if the case gets damaged, you
gotta
can't purchase the case without the whole assembly.
Okay.
So when you get these cars that hit hard enough in the side
And it
it pushes the
pushes
case in,
Okay.
you have to
That
purchase
makes
the
sense.
entire assembly, which instantly totals the car out.
Right.
Well, I mean that.
No insurance company would pay that.
I mean that kind of makes sense.
I'm surprised. I'm surprised that our warranty is gonna. They're like, oh, go ahead, 68 grand, go right ahead. We're
I
good
mean,
with that.
That's nuts.
See,
Yeah. I thought it was if it was 80% of the vehicle's value. They wouldn't bother with it.
Yeah.
No, it's less than that. It's 60%.
I thought it was
Is it
80.
60?
Oh,
It's like 60%. Well, they also factor it in for depreciation.
well, then
Oh,
also
okay.
you got to think like if they were to total it out, then they also got to pay extra for all the
Hey,
recycling
but-
and all because it's
but
not like
hey,
it goes to.
In the better note, after
Those cars still end up at Copart. Shit like that.
in the better note, the certain hybrid vehicle we have that's been sitting at the dealership for over a year, the battery finally came in for, and we got to replace it.
A year.
Yep.
What car is it?
Wait a minute.
Optima hybrid.
Does that
Oh, okay.
exceed your record on the car from Georgia? The engine replacement in Georgia?
No, it's right about the same amount of time.
Okay.
Well, Brian, here's the best part. So when this happened, the Hyundai Kia do 10 years for these batteries, 10-year, 100,000 miles for original owner. This person was said original owner, and it's a 15 Optima, and it was within 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
But since the car's been sitting at the dealer for over a year, it expired.
Oh.
And they came and said, whoa, 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 we're not going to pay for this. And we're like, whoa, wait, hold on.
The complaint was made under warranty.
And we have had the car on the property for over a year with the battery on orders for over a year. So we had to fight tooth and nail to get them to pay for it. And this was only a $6,000 battery. Like, this is what
Only.
Only. It wasn't nothing giant. Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's messed up. Kind of messed up is what you and I started to talk about, and I figured we should save it.
Oh, yeah.
Car market's getting wonky again.
Yep.
I noticed that.
So I read an interesting
Like
stat.
stuff crashing or going back up?
Yes.
Okay.
It's a bit of both.
So-
it's a really weird era
And
we're in
it just
with it
ties
right
into
now.
something, a little stat that I read sometime last week. But he was saying that the car market's getting weird, and I was like, there's a lot of things that are causing car markets to get weird. Interest rates from one thing, but so COVID hit, and car prices just dropped.
Yeah.
Like there was blood in the streets, and the dealers were doing everything they can just to get somebody to buy something. And then the car supply started to dry up, and all the
that
prices
shot
went nuts.
fucking
New
within
car
a
prices
month,
went through the
fucking- yeah.
new car prices went through the moon, which made used car prices go through the moon.
And then used cars stopped showing up, and it
That's
made
where
used
we're-
cars triple in
That's
price.
where we're at. That's where we're kind of at now, because everybody bought up all the used cars because they couldn't buy new cars. New car production came back online, so the dealership started getting inventory back in. We're just starting to see manufacturers throw a little bit of cash on the hood, and all of the really nutty like $5,000 markups on a Mitsubishi Mirage. That's just no longer happening. So things were starting to get back a little bit to normal. But recently, the used car market is starting to tick back up, because all of these cars that would normally be coming off lease that are 3 and 4 years old aren't there
Yeah.
because they weren't built.
And
Now
we're
you've
kind of
got-
right back to where we're buying used cars from auctions to have used cars.
Well, and that kind of goes into, remember that if it would have been 4-wheel drive, and if I would have been able to get a loan, I would have gotten it that
That F-150,
the F-150 that was up there at Ford, and at the single cab short bed, it was the 5-liter 10-speed. It was rear wheel drive, not the 4-wheel drive. But and it was at 21 or 22.
it was priced higher than MSRP.
Brand new, it was 38 something. They had it listed for 44. And now I gotta say, it was at that point lowered. It did have nicer wheels on it, like Nitto 55R, like
Yeah.
good tires and all that. And it was the best color. It was that magnetic dark blue, like
Very
it
good.
almost looks black.
The
but as soon-
antimatter blue.
Antimatter blue. And as soon as the fucking sun hits it, it lights up like a fucking disco ball.
Right.
It is beautiful. And I saw it driving by, and I'm like, I'm about to make a poor financial decision.
Let's make poor financial decisions.
Yes, I do want that 84-month loan. Can I push it out even farther? Yes,
Yes,
I
you
can.
can.
Let's go.
Can we go to 96?
Let's fucking go.
Yeah. But yeah, like I said, so yeah, the car markets in general are starting to get wonky.
Yeah.
Which also brings up another weird thing is prices of cars and doing what they're doing. Last year and this year, the worst sales numbers for the Mustang ever.
Yep.
It's bad.
Wow.
Which is messed up for Ford here in North America, because the Mustang is the only car that Ford sells in North America.
Yep, and that sucks. And when the amount of level that you're talking about is, so
far this year, I think they've only sold like 5,000 Mustangs.
So and everybody thinks like the Mustang 2 was like oh god, it's horrible and all that stuff.
That car saved the Mustang.
1974 was the highest selling year until
Since the 64, 65.
Well, yeah, yeah, from 64 and 65, like it was super high. Then it kindly went down. Then all of a sudden, 74, it fucking skyrocketed. It was close to almost 500,000 just in
74.
just in 74.
Right.
The next closest one, 86, which was low 400,000s.
Yeah.
So out of all Fox bodies, 86 is actually the most produced. The lowest produced is 92 with like 71,000 across the board.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So, and after that, I think 92 was the last like low year and that. So this is like way below that.
93 spiked back up because they thought that they were going to lose the Mustang,
To the
so
Pro.
people went and
Yeah.
bought it.
But not as much. It went up to like 115. I got all
but
I got all
people
the
panic
numbers
bought
in
it.
there.
Rick, how's it going?
But yeah, no,
Rick.
it was crazy.
But yeah,
we
they
did-
got 5,000 units out the door for the year. That's horrifying.
Well,
yeah.
I think that's for 25.
That's what I'm saying.
But still,
But I'm just like halfway through the year,
it's
they've only
almost
sold.
July.
Yeah, they've only sold 5,000.
I was gonna say
That's bad.
right now, normally July. You're pushing it if you say August is when they stop production of
Yeah.
that year and they go into the next
That's
year.
when they start changing.
Mine's
over
a
them.
very final run of an 86, and it's a July of 86, and that's like mine was being built as 87s were coming out. Like it was, you had a couple 4-eyed cars, you had a couple Aero cars, you had a couple 4-eyed cars, a couple Aero cars.
Well, and that kind of swivels back to what we started talking about, the car market being so wonky
Oh yeah,
the
sorry, I
way
went
it is
down a
right now.
Mustang hole.
Well, with the Mustang thing, that's part of this car market being wonky is, used cars are in short supply because people are still buying used cars
But also,
because they can't afford new cars.
But also, the used car supply is really drying up because of the new cars that weren't being built because of the COVID shortages, chip
right,
shortages,
well, they
and all
weren't
that
being
stuff.
built and they weren't
Yeah.
being bought because people couldn't afford the markups.
Yeah.
So the used car market is drying out because the markups killed that market that we'd be seeing
But
right
like I
now.
said, it's also-
and the Mustang is a victim of that.
Yeah, but it's not. Like I said, it wasn't just the prices of the markups that people couldn't afford because people were still buying those cars.
Right.
So enough people were affording those cars and buying them at those markups and then taking a bath when they went to trade them in. But you also had
Well, and that's
The-
what
the
that's
production
what
shortages.
I was going to get
Yeah,
to.
you
is
had the production
people
shortages.
who did buy those cars and took a bath on them, they're not trading them in.
yeah.
They can't trade them in.
Exactly.
Congratulations! I hope you really like it because
You own it for the rest of your life.
forever.
But
until
also-
that car is paid off, you own it because you are upside
Yeah.
down in it till the last payment.
Yeah, they're. What is this? The old folks' home? Kinda.
Yeah, pretty much.
But no, like I said, but then you had all of those production shortages for 2-3 years there. And those are the cars that would typically be coming off lease and entering into the used car market to supply those, low mileage, 2-3-year-old cars. And they're just not there
Right.
because they didn't build them. And now, like I said, but even as Mustang prices go, like I've hunted around there and I'm looking at like 15, 17, 18 Mustang GTs that were MSRP'd at 30 to 32,000 with 50,000 miles on them are selling for 32 to 33,000.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We did get an interesting trade in. Well, not it's the Boomer special.
Don't lowball me, bro. I know what I got. Built on a Tuesday, 1 of 1.
Did you
Oh.
get an 03 T-Bird?
01 Corvette,
Oh.
Yeah.
and they have the plaque proudly glued to the frickin' glove box.
Oh god.
Yeah. But other than that, from that, like, really clean car. It's a 01, Targa top, hatchback,
Mm-hmm.
6-speed manual,
Okay.
leather, 1 owner, optioned as far as you can, climate control, everything.
Only driven on the weekends, never seen the rain.
Hold on, but how many miles?
60,000.
Okay, that's not bad. What color?
It's
Silver.
it's like Zach's Camaro.
Like that
the
pewterish.
the pewter,
okay.
yeah.
Ooh, I
Yeah.
love that color on the C5s. That,
And like I
black
said,
interior
yeah, and 6-speed manual and everything.
and Target.
Yeah, and Target.
It's a beautiful car.
It is.
$9,000.
11.
That's still not a bad price.
Honestly,
I'd buy
no,
it. To
it's
be
not.
honest, I'd buy it
Yeah.
because
That's
before-
a lot of fun for not very many dollars.
Before I
No, that's
traded in
that's a
the,
lot
the
of
Focus
performance.
and that, there was a bit. Remember, I was even looking around. Fucking Eagle Buick GMC had one, and I remember I
Yeah.
sent it to you. That same kind of color option. It was a 2000 and that, and it was like 10 grand, and it was like 70,000 miles, and I'm like, yo. I can pretty much just go there and be like, I'll give you the Focus for this. Like, and I'm not going to be mad. Like, it's got pop-ups. It got pop-up headlights. It's got an LS. It's got a 6-speed manual transaxle. Let's fucking do this.
Oh, yeah.
Like, let's fucking do this. Like, I'm okay with this.
I almost traded my car again too, but the guy said no after I told him how many miles were on my car because he really wanted a low mile one.
Okay.
It
Are
I'm not
was,
laughing
any
at
low
you.
mile ones out there?
That's a good question.
so
Are there any low mile ones that aren't broken and have been sitting broken for the past 10 years?
Right.
well, you got to hear the trade. So, 08 Cayenne GTS Turbo, the 550 horsepower variant.
Is that like the one that we saw in Denellen?
Yeah,
Yeah,
except it was a turbo version. That one was a regular GTS.
Okay.
So,
But it looked like that one.
Just-
so
okay.
is this the same generation as yours, or the more problematic generation than yours?
So you have the first gens and the second gen, and then my gen. It's the second gen. It's the one that's like where they have most of the kinks worked out.
So it's slightly more problematic than yours.
Slightly more. 90,000 miles, fully optioned with the window sticker, with a $150,000 window sticker and everything. 550 horsepower, twin turbo V8. And guys all on board. I sent him all my info and everything. He's like, how many miles? And I sent it, and he's like, oh, well, you know, I was really hoping for one with, like, I want to trade for one that's only got, like, 30,000 miles on it. And I wanted to be like, dude, you're doing the wrong kind of trade-up. Like, you're like one of those guys who has, like, a front-wheel drive car, like a Honda Civic or something that's like, I want to trade this for an RX-7. Like, it's not going to work. And I'm like, dude, listen, like, I'll come to you, because he lives in Fort Pierce. I'm like, I'll drive the car to you. And I said, you can look at it. I told you what's wrong with it, which it has just a check engine light. That's it. There's nothing wrong with it. Just check engine light. And I told him what it's for, and he was all good with that. And then I told him the mileage, and he's all, like, dissuaded by it. I'm like,
Oh
And he
well,
said
keep
no.
driving it then.
I'm fine with that. Honestly, I don't like the styling of the first and second gens. I like the styling of mine, but
They're a bit longer.
but
Longer in the
but
day.
the GTS one with 550
It
horsepower
does have a really cool body
sounded
kit.
like a damn good
It does
time.
have a
And
really
it has
good
like
body
dude,
kit. Yeah, it does.
the big open giant grill in the front.
When we
But
were
then
on the way
again-
back-
Oh.
But then again, I don't know if lightning's going to strike twice on your Porsche dealings though.
yeah, but,
I don't think
but
so.
see, so
Because that might be
Well-
a thing where that particular one's built for a good
When-
time, but not for a long
when
time.
when we went to pick up the mini bike on our way back, when we were coming through Denellen, so we were just at where KFC is, and that and
Second gen GTS,
with
same
the,
color as mine.
the
giant
body kit,
grill,
the
the body
fucking
kit
giant
and
wheels
everything.
on it, and all that, and all of a sudden, like, we're driving along, I'm like, oh, brother, Dave's like, where, ah, and he's all fucking giggly. We got
And
the
dude's
trailer,
all, he's like staying up next to us and
we
everything.
got the
whole
trailer
time.
with the mini bike strapped down. I'm like, just don't lose the fucking bike. He's fucking, we're
And then
going,
we-
and
and
we're
then
like,
we
and I'm like, just don't lose the
And
fucking
then,
bike.
Yeah, then the Camry
I
came up.
strapped that bike down. You weren't losing that.
I
bike.
know.
Oh, then the
Don't worry.
Camry came up
Did you
next to
find
us.
Hold on.
Yeah, of course I did.
Hold on. Did you get your
Don't leave me hanging.
don't leave him hanging. Anyway, did you get
Sorry.
your did you give him his Allen key thing back?
Yes, he did.
Yeah. Did you hear the story about that?
Uh-uh.
So, you know where that was left?
Uh-uh.
Right behind a front tire
It was,
on the bike,
It was chilling there.
and it never fucking moved.
I strapped that bike down. I told you.
It wasn't under the tire. It sat right. I'm like,
and,
oh.
and there was a dude in a Camry.
That doesn't matter. I strapped that bike down to the trailer.
There was this dude in this newer Camry.
You could have left the wine glass sitting on there.
He was behind us,
You
kept
got
trying to
done.
get around and everything, and he got next to us and said, Mike, you want to
Yeah, right there at the bridge at the Nellen. And
And
he was like,
we got the
like,
trailer with the mini bike smoking a Camry.
fucking going around the bridge. You ain't fucking passing us.
Notice I knock on wood after I brag about strapping stuff
So-
down so good. I'm knocking on wood here.
So
just a
it was
little
one of
bit.
the T-handle like hex key
Right.
and that
Yeah.
with it fucking that long of a.
Nice.
So if that would have come off, that was going through someone's tire.
Exactly.
On the trailer, we got the mini bike strapped down. It was so if this is the wheel, it was right there, and didn't fucking move the entire time. And we were fucking flying, passing people. That shit fucking bouncing down road, didn't fucking move.
And not for nothing,
Didn't fucking
I
move.
bet dude in the GTS was like, hey, look what he did to that Camry. He tried so hard to get around us, and I was not letting him have
No.
a trailer, mini bike, and all.
Okay, I'll grab the other beer.
You need to share again?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's like I was saying the other morning, a Mercedes, one of the G-Wagons, the big G, the
Yeah.
square
Land of
things.
wagon.
Yeah, tried to give me the beans the other day, and I denied it. But then again, I don't know if it was a 1970s G-Wagon or a 2025 because they all look the same.
Right.
But it had AMG badges and it had side pipes, so it definitely wasn't AMG. May or may not have been a supercharged V8. If not, 500 horsepower. If so, 550. But he left him behind, so win's a win, right?
Right.
Win's a win. That's one vehicle I just don't understand.
Same. I really don't.
Incredibly capable as an off-road vehicle, and none of them will ever go off-road.
No. You should.
Well, that's not what they're built for. I know that they're mechanically built to be good off-roaders. They're not built to be off-roaders.
Oh, I know, but still.
They are built to be tax dodgers and nothing else.
For real.
I have one picture. It doesn't do it justice, though, but you should have seen my car a couple weeks ago when I had to go to my mom's house. Because it had just rained.
I am excited for this one.
I was out there in the mini farms, and things were dirty, and the main road got blocked off, and I had to take a trail.
I got this one for you.
This
What is
sounds
that?
good. Oh, well. This one sounds
Ooh.
really freaking good.
Ooh.
Okay.
Peanut butter English style ale. All right,
Yes.
I've been 50-50 on the peanut butter beers
Oh, see, I'm
Let's
always 100% on the peanut butter beers.
Smooth, rich, and nutty.
because some of them have been really good, and others have been either it was the
Terrible.
high alcohol content that made them terrible.
Well, this is
Well,
only a 6.5. So.
I have my glasses on this
Oh.
time. I can read from a distance.
Oh damn!
All right.
Look at that.
The Lancaster Brewing Fresh Roasted Peanut Butter English Style Ale.
It almost looks like peanut butter coming
We
out.
brew fresh roasted peanut butter spiked English style ale with rich caramel malts, loads of all natural peanut butter, and Fuggles
Whoa.
hops. I don't know what Fuggles hops is,
I don't know.
but there's Fuggles hops. For a uniquely special brew that delivers an unmistakable aroma and flavor of fresh roasted peanuts, culminating in a smooth caramel finish. It's 19 IBU and 6.5%. Best poured into a glass.
So, this doesn't smell like any of the other peanut butter
Oh.
ones that we have
Yeah,
done.
it does.
So,
It's a fully loaded one where they
So,
pack the can all the way up. I like it.
it's one where most of the peanut butter ones have like actual like peanut butter smell. This has roasted peanut smell, which with
Like-
totally different.
Pennsylvania represent.
Yep.
I sent Brett a picture of the first one.
PA.
Yeah, I'm about to.
But no, that smells.
Whoa!
It smells like
Like roasted peanuts.
yeah, like actual like peanuts, not peanut butter. Wow,
I'm
that
intrigued.
smells good.
I'm very intrigued. My brothers.
Palate cleanse. Let me get this.
Oh, I want to sip my
Cheers, everyone.
Salute.
Cheers. Salute.
Salute.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers. Oh, and it's got the saltiness too.
Salted peanuts.
Oh, that is
Oh.
great.
It's almost like caramel salted peanuts.
Yeah,
Salted
well,
caramel
but
peanuts.
that's the thing. Like it's the
Malt,
it's
Cracker
not-
Jacks.
caramel,
Yes.
Kinda.
peanuts.
Wow. Oh,
It's
yeah,
Cracker Jacks.
Exactly.
Oh my God.
Yes.
Cracker Jacks in a can.
Mike, good.
Yes.
Good fucking
Thank-
job.
This is
Well,
amazing.
damn, Mike. Well done.
Yes.
Hey, Lancaster's on
Proper.
point.
Like that's almost a witchcraft beer.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
state's not good for much, but it is for beer.
You know what
Yeah,
this is?
yeah. Brett's pretty much said there's a whole lot of drunks in Pennsylvania, so.
Sitting at Fenway Park singing "Take Me Out to the Ball Game."
No, because they shut beer off
Baseball?
at seven.
I'm just saying,
innings.
like this. It's like a good hometown.
Yeah, I ain't going. I'd rather go watch a fucking golf game than a baseball game. At least you can drink the entire time at a golf game.
It's fair.
Because they shut it off in the 7th inning, and it could go 14 innings. And then you're fucked.
And honestly,
Baseball so
and honestly,
Exactly.
And honestly, as from a spectator's point of view, both games are just boring as bloody hell.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you're not playing baseball, it sucks to watch. Same thing with golf. Well, I mean, I do like golf, but it's one of those. Golf and bowling are the only sports that they want you to get drunk and do.
right.
Yeah,
They
pretty much.
bring the alcohol to you and say, hey, here's this. drive this cart around and fucking hit balls into a hole. Let's see what happens.
Well, typically,
in Pennsylvania, alcoholism isn't a disability; it's a requirement.
Welcome to Ireland, my friend. Wow, that's really good.
Thanks.
that is
really good.
Yeah, you definitely hit on this one. This is a good
God
one.
damn.
Salt,
And
the
it is-
And
saltiness
that's the thing,
really
that's
hits
the thing.
too.
Because it's not like a normal peanut butter.
Yeah, it's not like really
It's
harsh
like-
peanut butter.
Yeah,
It's like
no.
roasted.
Well, and that's the thing. It's like a like they could have, instead of a peanut butter English stout, they could have just said a roasted peanut style ale.
Right.
Because it's
Just
like,
dog over there.
so it's like getting
I
the
was
peanuts
almost
at
for a second, I thought it was
Cody's
your chicken
Yeah.
going nuts.
and sitting there and eating the peanuts and drinking a beer.
Yeah.
Right.
Like that's what you get.
Yeah, $150 on the hockey game.
So
Woohoo.
good.
But yeah, so. Oh, did I have a car spot? No, I didn't have a car spot.
I haven't really had any car spots.
I'm trying to think of what I saw.
I mean, yeah,
from
I did
Orlando.
see a Glanderwagen on the road the other day, but that was what kind of sparked off. I'm totally confused by these.
I did see another Meteor Gray Cayenne, and they waved to me.
Oh,
That's about
cool.
it.
Do you guys have a wave like like Jeep guys or whatever?
I can't do it on camera because it's German.
I was gonna say Jeep guys do this, Bronco guys do that. You know, I don't know. Yeah. I did see something rare. I did see a Bronco actually coming off on the trails covered in mud.
Really?
I know.
Wow.
Really?
I know.
I still can't get over the video of those Rivian guys out there in the forest that were
oh.
absolutely giving it hell.
Yeah. So you know the Rivian, like the trucks and SUVs, the electric ones.
Yes.
They've got the
They're
weird
weird.
oval style headlights.
Yeah.
They're off, like they're more like they're truck.
The
Like,
Dyson.
they really are. Like they're
Yeah.
fucking awesome, and that build quality's great.
And materials quality and build quality is really
There's
nice
a
on those
whole
things.
Oh, yeah.
group of people that have them. They fucking off-road them.
Oh wow.
I mean, they go out into the forest right here. There was a bunch of them that came up from like the Tampa area and that fucking went through there, and I mean up to like middle of the door water.
Wow.
Fucking just
and-
rah through
and-
there,
and-
slinging mud everywhere, overlanding in them, camping in the fucking tents and all
Cool.
that shit. Oh, I'm like, fuck yeah, fuck yeah.
I like the idea of overlanding. I'm not a camping person.
Yeah.
That's my
The
only
going
problem.
off-road part's fun though. And
Right,
like,
exactly.
I decided like I've been looking for the lowest I can
many
go
bikes?
is 18s. So
Oh,
I've been
for
looking
you.
for a cheap set of 18s, and I want to get some like mud terrains
Mhm.
and be able to put them on my car and like.
Well, we saw that one. Wasn't I with you when we saw the? It was a Cayenne, and it was
Yeah,
lifted,
the
it was
lifted one.
lifted up with the all wings
Yeah.
because we were coming through Inverness, and I was like, "Dan, fucking look!" And you're like, "That's what I want to do." Fucking had the whole roof rack. It was fucking
Yeah,
lifted
so
like
I would say
But-
do KO2s, not mud terrains.
well,
Yeah, like the
probably like
all-terrain
all.
shit.
But the thing
All
is like.
terrains, not mud
I
terrains.
want a set that I can throw on the car to go do that.
Oh, okay.
Like I don't want to have it permanently set up like
Okay, I
that.
thought you meant permanent. I was gonna. If you're going
what-
permanent,
no.
stay away from mud terrains. You're not gonna like those.
What was the general tire that's been really good as sort of a dual purpose?
General
off-road?
Grabber?
Grabbers.
The grabbers.
General Grabbers, yeah.
Yeah.
But the
Those
thing
are
is, the
good.
thing is too is like, so I need struts all the way around. They all bang when I go over bumps.
Are they
So-
air or are they?
Hmm?
Are they electronic?
No, I avoided that when I specifically when I started looking at Cayenne, I avoided electric and air ride
Okay.
because I
Yeah,
did
'cause
not
they
want to
had
be able
them
to.
too,
I
yeah.
didn't want to mess with any of that. So
like most of them
um,
sag down.
the nice thing is
Most
BC,
of them
which
Yeah.
BC's fantastic. I had BC
Yeah.
coilovers in the Speed 3. BC makes coilovers for the Cayenne that will lift it 3.5 inches
Nice.
or lower it 3.5 inches. And I'm thinking, get those because my struts are garbage anyway, and I hate dismantling spring and all that. Might as well get whole assemblies and then get a set of some 18s and some all-terrains, and then if I want to go off-road, I'll jack it up and then I'll throw them on and then go off-road. Because I've dabbled in it a little bit, and I just have short tires on there, and that thing.
And you got the center lock and everything.
Oh, it's surprise. Yeah, with all the off-road like electronic stuff that it does, it surprises me.
And that thing's all-wheel drive.
Yeah,
Oh, wow.
and I have a center locking differential. It has
Yeah, it
crawl
locks
mode and all that and
Nice.
everything, and like it does really good off-road. Even like sugar sand, even with the crappy highway tires I have, it's done
Right.
good. And I just really think it would be really cool for me to be ripping through those trails, making the straight pipe.
Not all vehicles with highway tires do good in the sand.
No, they don't.
Somebody I know has a truck and they got stuck in the sand out by my house. I'd have somebody else come and pull them out.
Well, that's because he also had 9,000 pounds of bug spraying stuff.
I did pull some kids out the other day, the younger kids out at the beach, because sometimes when I go on my lunch break, I leave, because if I don't leave, I'll stay and work, even if it's my lunch break. And I went out to the beach, and there's these like 4 or 5 in a squatted truck. But they were like buried really bad, and I came up around.
Where exactly
Because you got barriers.
were they
that you
buried?
can't-
So when you come right around on the beach, there's the whole part on the right-hand side that's all sand. And one
Yeah.
part goes down to where like you could go fish. And they were there and they were stuck. And I see like 5 or 6 of these like high school kids. And they're all pushing and things going nowhere.
That was a bit more than sand.
And I pull over and I stop and I say, y'all need to pull? And they looked at me and they're like, you can't pull us out. And I said, do you have a tow strap? And they said, yeah. And I said, all right, I'll back up and hook up. I'll pull you out. They said, you're not going to be able to pull us out. And I said, yes, I'll be able to pull you out. So we hook up. I lock my differential. And I'm on tarmac. And I just kind of put it in first and I give it maybe quarter to half throttle and shoots along. And I pulled them right up on out. They're like, whoa, that was amazing and everything. And I was like, well, yeah. 2-wheel drive Chevy Silverado squatted.
Mike,
trying to go in
I'm
the mud.
retired today.
Cool.
So that reminds me of back in the 80s, solid axle Toyota 4x4s
Oh yeah, with the 22 Rs.
with manual transmission, low range transfer case and locking front hubs and everything would pull out Fords and Chevys from stuff
Yeah.
like that around
Yeah,
here.
you might only have 105 horsepower, but you reduce that enough.
Well,
Yeah.
at,
You can
at
do
that
it.
point, I've already towed the BMW and the Skylark with that dual axle trailer.
But
I'm
that
like,
Skylark's a heavy bitch.
yeah. And I was like, I shouldn't have any problem, and I didn't. So,
But all the cars that you posted, where were those?
at one of my buddy's houses.
Oh, okay.
But they're all gone. The Skylark still. I have the
Skylark's
Skylark
at
at my
your
house.
But
But-
it's actually really nice looking.
It is. It's actually.
I still think you should have done a Pints and Pistons demolition derby with them.
Well,
If we would have had
I-
more time, yes.
and money because he needed money.
Yeah.
So, but like the Skylark is a hopeful future project, but it's still all an uncertainty with properties and how things have happened because he has a truck that has a built 502 in it, and he wanted to take that drivetrain and plop it in the Skylark. So the Skylark's a rolling shell. It was a V6 car
Right.
with a very, 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 very badly blown head gasket and a transmission that maybe would engage if it felt like it.
Right.
But
So
the body's in really nice shape. the
body,
interior's in nice
zero
shape.
rust.
Yeah.
Interior is amazing, and it's only like got like 130-ish thousand on it. It's like a fairly low mile car for being
Right.
a 72, and that's still the goal. But like he's in a place now where he doesn't have space to do things, and I'm like kind of
Mike,
pressing on him about it.
I can't read that.
I'm coming to move in with you so we can finish that car, buddy.
I wish.
Well, and then after that, we got
So,
Skylark that we're trying to build.
That was something else I wanted to bring up. You sparked it with the squatted truck at the beach. The Daytona truck meet was this past week.
Did they get
Yeah.
shut
They still do it.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah, they got
yes,
there was
they
a
did.
lot,
They got
lot of crap
very,
happened over
very
there.
shut down.
Well, you
Yeah.
had Daytona, and then there was another one too, not in Florida, I think in Georgia or something, that was also doing the same thing to where
Sounds like South Carolina.
I-
So
Myrtle Beach.
what was
it
going
wasn't
on
near the beach,
was
but-
is the cops started enforcing the no squatted trucks
Right.
rule out in Daytona.
Good.
Like they would pull
Good.
them over and go, well, you got 2 options. You can fit the lift kit on the back of the truck and raise the back of the truck up to level it out, or we're impounding you. These guys are literally sitting in the parking lot
So hold
under
on, I
the
wanna-
truck.
Putting
wanna-
lift kits on.
Want a timeout for a second? We do respect all builds and that, but
Except for
fuck
those.
that. Because what they're getting pulled over for is you can lift their truck another 8 feet fucking up into the air. It's the fact that the headlights are not aimed at a certain level.
You're
And
starving the engine for oil because they'll have the angle of the truck.
Well, they don't give a shit about that when it comes to
you can't fucking see out of them.
Yeah, but when it comes to police,
you're looking at the
you gotta
side.
hang
You're
out
looking
the
at
damn
the hood.
Well,
Okay,
no, but
so-
what it is the headlight angle. And
But it's not just that. So the dash cam videos. We all love dash cam videos. Speaking of which, do you have anything for us that you can put up?
I haven't. My dash cams both have crapped. I need to buy better quality ones.
So I was watching a dash cam compilation, and there was a dash cam from somewhere here, right here in Inverness, Florida, and it was somebody that was in a regular car that was pulling out of a parking lot, and a squatted truck pulled in and just ran right into him.
because they couldn't
And
see.
from the dash cam, which was hanging at the top of the windshield, right by the mirror, all you saw was the grill. From the front on, you could not see the windshield or the roof of the truck. You only could tell it because when it was turning from the side, you could see that squatted truck.
Yeah.
But once it actually made contact with the car, you couldn't see, and the driver of the truck couldn't see, that there was a whole ass car in front of him.
Yeah.
Right.
So, anyway, sorry, Chris, I did not mean to.
But yeah, I thought it was so funny watching. They're sitting there. There'd be 3 state troopers sitting there, watching these guys as they are jacking their trucks
and
up.
they're taking the shackles off because most of them have like the lowering shackles, and it's like they're undoing that.
What they usually do is they have to put the lift blocks in.
Yep.
yeah, and they flip the springs too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they'll undo the stuff they've done to make them squatted and put the lift blocks back in to level the truck back out. And the cops are sitting there till it's done.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
You're fixing this truck right now, or we're towing it.
Nice.
Yeah, I can agree. You know, everyone, builds are different, but
That's
between
the
those and the stance cars where they just ruin the
Yeah.
camber.
I mean, I'm all for camber and all that, but when you got a 315 and you're only using 15,
But also too, when they build those cars to where they're static, and you see them bouncing down the road like this because they can't keep them in a
it's
straight line.
unavailable.
Now you've made a car that's you want to kill yourself in that car, go right ahead. But now you're putting a danger to me and everybody around
And you
us.
know what? I did it before. I did one car like that, and I
You did.
absolutely
You did.
hated it.
But-
I hated it. It looked, mine wasn't as extreme, and it looked cool. It did,
But
but
how many tires did you go through in 2 months?
probably about
Yeah.
all the way around, like 3
Yeah.
sets.
Yeah.
Well,
And it was just unbearable to drive. And
Well,
I got pulled over several times too because cops were like, "Why are you swerving around so much?" And I was like,
Built-in drunk driving.
I got to go around the potholes, and you go straight. Everything's fighting itself.
yeah.
Yeah.
The whole car is fighting itself.
Well, it's because it wasn't built to do that.
No.
You've got so many components that bearings and axles and struts
That are meant to keep cars straight in a line and going down the road.
Well, they're supposed the wheel is supposed to sit straight up and down.
Yeah.
When you tilt it out on an angle like that, you're not pushing against the bearing the way it was supposed
You're
to be.
side loading
against.
the bearings.
You are side loading that
And
bearing.
you'd be so surprised. You do
At some point, that
like-
bearing's going to give out, and that tire's coming off that car.
And
Right.
you do like that with the steering wheel, and it goes like
Right.
that. Like it was.
So one time, that's
hated
like,
it.
so large trucks, one time coming back from Ocala. I was in the center lane on 200 coming home, and I got behind an F250 that the wheels were spaced so far out that the brakes were hanging in free air.
Yep.
Right.
And it had the front end of that thing, and they weren't stance or cambered or anything, and it wasn't a squatted truck. It was
Almost looked
sitting
like
level.
inboard brakes.
It was sitting level, but the wheels were pushed so far out that it was that each side was trying to climb up the ruts on either side. It barely fit within the lines, and it was constantly doing this. He was fighting the wheel the whole time.
Wow.
And I was thinking to myself, I wonder what those front unit bearings are going through right about now, because
Pure terror.
they're not inside of the wheel
They're
holding it
screaming.
where it should be. Their wheels hanging out on there. So
And then
even
you
though,
got another 1.5 foot of fucking wheel out here.
but
You
even
got,
so,
you got
even
tension hanging down like
so
that.
even
Right.
though it wasn't stanced, it was still taking that all of the energy and cranking the ball joints, the kingpins,
Yeah.
the bearings, everything. And I'm
Well,
like,
at that point, you're on the back axle. That that back axle's only this big around.
Yeah.
Right.
And you're putting that much force on it.
Yeah.
It ain't that hard to say.
He's
you
got-
know,
he's
get
got,
a
you
bunch
know,
of
get-
and
It'll be fine.
snap that
It'll be
axle
fine,
fluid
brother.
off.
Just let me hear it.
it's all fun and games until they end up like the Dodge truck that lost that wheel on the highway and launched that Kia into orbit.
Oh god, that's
Yeah.
still in the
Well, and
scary
that's
stuff.
why I don't like that.
That was
type
one of the best
stuff.
videos
It's
ever.
Not, It's not the person driving that vehicle that gets hurt.
It's everybody else.
It's somebody else on the opposite side of the highway going 70 miles an hour the other direction that gets hit by that wheel and killed.
Yeah.
That is
Yeah,
literally
no, and,
just
like,
going to
you know,
work.
we
I'm all for modifying a vehicle, but when you start risking other people's
we had
lives,
it
that's a
happen
problem.
where somebody was driving out front on 19 and they lost a complete hub with the brake rotor. The hose ripped off, so caliper, brake rotor, hub, wheel, everything. And it totaled a brand new Kia Soul.
It left the chat room, didn't it?
And on 19 doing 50-55, it went off the truck, went 30-something feet into the air, landed on a Forte next to it, and totaled it too.
Oh,
total-
in the parking lot?
Yeah, and so if you were like right
Yeah,
here,
yeah.
this is Mr. Kia Soul, and you're like, Mike, so
Yeah.
what do you think about this Kia Soul? And then we both died.
Yeah.
Because that was a 200-pound
Yep.
rolling mass
Right.
at 50 miles an hour
Yeah.
coming at us.
Well, I remember when I used to work at Brandon
Thankfully, no one
Mitsubishi,
was there.
we had somebody come in with one of the Mitsubishi SUVs.
Oh,
Outlander, probably,
Trooper.
or-
No,
Yeah, Trooper. And
well, no, the Mitsubishi was
Montero.
Montero.
and he had, at the time, probably like 24, 26-inch rims on it. Trying to figure out why he's going through brakes so bad. Well, you're trying to stop this rolling mass of wheel and tire.
With these
That's
little brakes.
way heavier than what your stock wheel and tire was.
Exactly.
The
Yeah.
unsprung mass and rotating mass on that is
Yeah.
insane.
If you're
Exactly.
gonna do that, upgrade your brakes.
Yep.
Put
That's
better
that's
rotors
another
on
thing.
them.
How many
Calipers.
trucks and stuff and like Escalades and Expeditions and everything do we see with giant wheels and tires on them and still have those puny ass little brakes
Mm-hmm.
underneath them?
Porsche. I got 6 pistons in the front, baby, and 4 pistons in
What
the back.
what diameter rotors are yours?
They're like I think 18-inch. They're huge.
Yeah, they're giants.
They're giant. Yeah, with 6 piston front brakes and 4
Gonna
piston
say, I
rears.
think ours are 16. Ours are pretty fucking big.
yeah.
Yeah, I've had to slam on the brakes only one
But yeah,
time.
you're
in
also
that,
running
and
what? An 18-inch wheel?
20.
20-inch wheel on yours?
I've had to slam on the brakes one time in
But
that,
then
and I
stop.
realized I didn't actually
Yeah.
have to slam on the brakes. When this car pulled out in front of me,
Mm-hmm.
and I was like, and I slammed the brakes, I realized I was like, just not that much effort is actually
Yeah.
required.
It's like when I upgraded the brakes on the Mustang. It went from being the brakes are pretty good on this car to the brakes are amazing on this car.
Right.
That was
Dude,
that was
those, those 6
when I-
pistons are a different animal.
Well, when I drove David's 16 S550,
Yeah.
and it wasn't a Brembo car, it was just the regular GT with the 4-pot, I think they're Akebono calipers and those big rotors. That was the first thing I noticed is when I hammered on it and I'm like, and it started to kick out. That was 600 horsepower wheel low boost setting, and it started to kick out and I'm like, not my car. Rolled out of it and then just kind of heaved on the brakes. I was like,
Them
holy hell, this
4-pots,
thing's got
those-
way
they're
better
big,
brakes
though.
than an S197.
That's what we got on
Yeah,
the
those 4
Expedition.
pots are big though.
Yeah.
They and that's one thing too. Like my 6s the pistons are smaller than
Yeah.
this.
Yeah.
I was gonna say,
Unlike
the
that,
4-pots are big.
unlike that Chinese car on the racetrack where the calipers are this friggin' big, but the brake pads are that big.
yeah.
Damn.
Yeah.
I remember when I was younger, I had a guy near me had a Cutlass Supreme. It was a G body, rear wheel drive, 3.8 liter,
Yep.
and it was lowered. I needed an extra car because the car that I had
Bless you.
was a
Twice.
very nice car,
Bless you.
bless you,
Nice
and
catch.
I didn't want to drive it every day. So he's like, "Oh yeah, I just put brand new shocks on it, and blah blah blah." Cool. I assumed when he lowered it, he either put lowering springs or just cut the springs. No. Took the springs out.
Oh god.
So the car is
Hell
riding.
yeah.
So the
I
car is
love
riding.
shocks.
The car is riding on the jounce bumpers, which is really good. And so I was living in Newport Richie at the time with my family. I called a junkyard over in Teddy Bears, over in
Yeah.
Tarpon,
Yep.
and I tell them what I've got, and I need a set of springs. Yeah, no problem. Me and my dad go down there. We go get the springs. We pull in there, and they're cutting. I see this mid-'80s Pontiac Parisian Brome 4-door, V8 car.
Hell yeah.
And I'm thinking to myself, I hope those aren't the springs for my car.
They were the springs for your car.
They were the springs for my car. So we get them home.
Your
and
car went from slam to 4x4.
So I was the inventor of the dunk, just to let you know. Because when I tell you,
because of the weight of the car was so much lighter, it probably rode worse than what it was with no springs.
so with the 15-inch wheels and the low profile tires that are on there was literally this much space between the tire and the friggin' wheel well. My
The
brother-in-law,
shocks were full extension all the time.
my brother-in-law had a set of 16-inch wheels that were on his Trans Am, on his 98 Trans Am. So I bought them off of him. I put them on this car because they were actually rear-wheel drive rims, and he, at the time, he didn't realize he should have gotten front-wheel drive rims for the rear-wheel drive Trans Am. But so they stuck out a little bit on his car, so this way he got different wheels.
Yeah.
So I got the wheels off him. Even with those 16-inch wheels and the 225 60/16s that were on it, there was still that much room between the tire.
And you probably hit a bump, and it
Oh, yeah.
not
Again,
enough to.
I was the inventor of the
You're the
donk.
founder of the dog.
I was the founder of the donk.
Yeah, no, that's crazy, and that's what people don't realize is like you put with the Fox bodies, like people do like the 5-liter slop into the 4-cylinder cars. But
They don't change the
Yeah,
springs.
they don't change the springs, and they're like, why is everything so? Or they end up going and like buying the V8 springs and throwing in a 4-cylinder. There's a lot of weight difference.
Yeah.
You are going to have a
Right.
big difference, and then like you're hitting bumps.
Which is funny to say because the Lima is an iron block and the
And
iron
it's heavy.
cylinder head is heavy as hell.
But it's still one of those. There's a difference, and you're hitting bumps, and like you can.
Oh, get some.
Alrighty.
Don't know what
It didn't crackle to
BMW.
It
But
didn't
there-
crackle
but
to
there's like a difference, and man, sometimes
You know what?
it's better to have blown out shit
Congratulations to that
than
guy for not doing the crackle tune.
Right?
sometimes it's better to use the blown out shit than use the incorrect stuff.
Yes.
Because
Yeah.
man, I bet you hit a speed bump and you were
Boing,
bouncing,
yeah.
bouncing,
Oh, yeah.
bouncing, because at that point you're not even using the shocks.
No,
You're just
no,
full on, spring. you look like
Or any non V8 Fox body car like 4-cylinder Mustangs or V8 Thunderbirds and Cougars, grabbing the rear sway bar out of a GT because it will just bolt right in. And then first time you hang a corner, you notice that the outside front tire slammed up into the fender well, and the car is just doing all kinds of weird things.
Right.
You got to get a front bar to match it.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Anyway, do we have a Cars and Bids car?
We don't, and
We don't.
I did not forget it. I actually did look, but everything I found was either stuff we've done before, a whole bunch of everyday mainstream cars. I might as well have been looking at eBay auctions or Auto Trader. A few cars that didn't meet reserve, but one car that just, I don't know, for some reason didn't sit right with me. It was an R34 GTT. So RB25 Neo manual transmission rear-wheel drive Skyline. $35,675.
Damn.
Not a GTR.
Hold on.
For an RB25 rear-wheel drive GTT.
How much?
35?
$35,675.
What's the world coming to?
I don't want to live on this planet anymore.
On that note,
And on that depressing note.
On that depressing note, I'm gonna hit y'all with a good note.
You didn't wreck the mini bike today.
Did not wreck the mini bike, but we have a really good video out that we published
Speaking
last
of
night.
mini bikes,
Speaking of mini bikes,
And
we finally put out the
mini bike video.
all that stuff.
And it does
I
have-
figured out computer stuff. Well, no, I am not taking credit for that because goddamn, that was 95% Sabrina because I couldn't.
it was our manager. She's our manager.
I could
What?
not.
Our manager.
I could not figure out even how to download the video
Basically,
from the
he
drive
posted
to
the
thing.
video of the last incident.
Yes. But that's up. As of right before we went on, we had
Like
80 views.
Something like that.
So hopefully by the time we're done with this, we'll have 100 views.
More.
Yep, so go to our channel, check it out. It's the Mini Bike Showdown.
Yeah, it is
And-
20 minutes long. It's a perfect
We're
thing.
getting some buffering
And it's
here.
great to watch.
It opens
It's
up
great
with
to
me
watch, it
falling
really
off
is.
a bike. So I mean,
The
it's-
one nice thing about mini bikes is that Mike makes it look like a full-size bike.
I know,
does.
and that's the thing.
You
Everybody's
do.
like, "Oh, that's a mini
You
bike."
do.
I'm like, "Yeah, no, it's a Sportster. What are you talking
And-
about?"
Condition here.
And until next
Weird.
time, guys, thank you so much for watching. Have a great night. We'll see you in a
Yes.
few weeks.
Yes,
Cheers,
thank
guys.
you, Mike, for coming on.
Have a good night.
Thank you.